Hello and welcome back to Haven and Hearth. The first thing you might have noticed is the size of the UI changed. I basically went in and went to the interface settings. I have it 15% bigger because I was having some trouble differentiating between 6s and 8s. Because, I mean, you can see right there, there's a 6, there's an 8. It's easy enough to see here, but if it was 15% smaller like it was getting a little difficult to differentiate. It wasn't the biggest thing, but I didn't want to end up making a mistake because of it. So, there is that. Next, you might notice I'm getting pretty low on these items in the old study desk here, so I'm going to have to do something about that before long. How am I actually doing on learning points? I actually have a decent number of learning points. I might want to do something about that. We'll figure that out. That might end up being like a much later thing. Not like they're going to go bad or anything. For the moment, I'm coming in, at least briefly here, to come and harvest our crops. Because I really do need to harvest up all this wheat. Now, as you can see, I got a little bit of straw there because I had a couple pieces of wheat, of higher quality wheat planted over here. We did lose quality on it though. But this should be the quality 50 stuff. I believe it was quality 50, which is going to be enough for our purposes. So first off, I want to stick a bucket in my hand, because if I have an empty bucket in my hand, it'll collect the seeds in there up to 1,000 instead of taking up my inventory. So we are 4 by 21. All right, good. Oh, I did not start in the first row. That's fine though. All right, so we're just going to harvest this up. I mainly need the straw, although the seeds themselves will be useful as well. It looks like we didn't lose any quality on this, so that's good for this harvest round at least. And it does mean that any excess seeds after I'm done replanting, I will be able to just go stick back in the same barrel because they won't affect the quality any. Mainly, what we're going for is the straw. And I'm too tired to harvest. Really? Really? Shouldn't have been that tired. All right, let's drink that up. All right, and we'll get back to it. We could probably just start over here again, but that's okay. Doop, 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 like that. 21 by 4. And if I wanted to do math, I could figure out if I'm going to have enough bucket space or not. I might. I don't know. I might not. I feel like it's going to be close, just kind of the way my brain is going. My brain is telling me there's going to be a close run thing, but that I'll probably have enough space. If not, it'll overflow into my inventory, which shouldn't overflow by so much that it causes an issue. And apparently got to stop and restore my stamina again. All right. And okay, yeah. Okay, it just went just over instead of just under. That's fine. All right, so we're going to shift right click. We're going to pick up all of this straw. Alright, I got ourselves some nice quality 50 straw. That's okay. Our skills will be bringing that down with what we're going to be doing with it. And we're going to end up replanting just as soon as we have all of this straw up and off the ground. And see, it's kind of doing this on its own. It's kind of just deciding this is the next piece I need to pick up. Like, I'm probably going to have to go back over there, yeah. Because it's all done here. And it missed two because it was too far away from them to slot them in next. Alright, so where do I want to stick this? Because I don't want to stick that there. Those are the slightly higher quality ones. How about I put it like here? Here? Here. There we go. Alright, we got 84. Good to know. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and replant, and then we will get on to what we were doing. All right, so we're going to plant out the exact same size here. I could plant more, but I am going to actually want some of these seeds to work with, so for the moment at least, we are just going to plant. And we can plant, as you saw, I just shift right clicked on the bucket, and it gave me the cursor, just like if I did it on the seeds. The only downside is that the bucket has to be in your hand if it has anything in it. And it has to be in your hand in order to harvest the stuff into it directly because, well, it will be putting stuff into the bucket. Like that. Alright, so we've got that. That is replanted. I still have over half these seeds left. And there are 155, quality 50. Our quality is still 50, so we can mix these without any worry. Bam, there we go. Now we are up to 743 seeds of wheat, and we'll come back to that in a bit. For the moment, however, we'll close that. All right, we want to do stuff with our straw. Now, as you noticed, all I'm still wearing is this birch bark shirt and pants. We are about to change that. So we're going to come over here to the straw. And there are plenty of things to be done with the straw. First things first, I am going to take a look at the clothes and equipment that I need and what I need in order to make them. Now, I happen to know in most cases it's just straw and string, but I do want to double check. So first, I know there is a hat. The hat is the first thing we are going to go for. There is a straw hat. It is just 4 pieces of straw. We can make that immediately. That is going to be handicapped by my dexterity and farming, so it'll be bringing down that level 50, but let's go ahead and do that. There we go. We are at 34, which is actually really good. It's given us a +6 on our farming. We're going to want to put that on immediately because other things are going to be affected by it as well. Now, theoretically, even putting that on, I could make a new hat, and it would be higher quality than this because my farming wouldn't drag it down as far. Because I now have an extra 4 points. If I were to look at my farming, it says 26, or another 6 points, sorry, because it's a higher quality there. You see base value 20, straw hat adds +6. So if I do that, it's basing it off of what it would be going to still from the base value. It doesn't affect your XP cost at all, as it shouldn't. So there's that. All right. Next item, we want... Oh, do I not have it? I thought it was in Cape's Cloak. Oh, I know why I don't have it yet. Because this is one that requires a very specific type of string. It requires the straw twine. So let me go ahead. I happen to know I'm going to need at least 2. So there we go. We got some discoveries from that. I've made 2, and this is 36 quality straw twine. I guess maybe it is still bringing it. That's probably like a decimal point difference. So this is 34.5, and these are, oh no, see, it's 36. So yeah, 35.8. So it is still better. All right, we are going to go to, well, right back to where we were. And, oh, it should have given me the thing. I thought that would have unlocked. Doesn't it? I thought that would do the thing. Also, what is going on here? All right, give me just a moment. I need to figure out what went wrong here. Okay, I realized what was wrong here. I probably am missing a skill. So we're going to go to Lord Skills, and we should have around here sewing. Okay, that's what I was missing. It's only 200 points. There we go. That has opened up some stuff, including capes, the straw cape. Now I need 8 of the twine for it, which is more than 2. So let's go ahead and get that first, and hope we still have enough of the straw left over to make the actual cape. And honestly, I would hope that I would have the rest of the stuff too. It is 8, right? Yeah. Here we go. Alright, we got that, and so now switch over to the straw cape. It's 10. Good, we still have plenty there. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get everything we want, but it will be close. There's a reason why I said we need a whole lot. So 28.2 is the quality on that, because the quality was dragged down more because we already lost quality to the twine. So let's go ahead and put that on. There we go, and that is going to raise our farming by another 5 points. Now, we're still going to want a little bit more because, hey, look, equipment and gilding. Let's see, I believe it is sewn gildings. And I want the corn braid, which is 2 of the finer plant fibers and 3 straw. And I'm going to want at least 2 of these. We have plenty of straw. It takes 2 of the finer plant fibers, though. Let's see what we got. I think I only have 2, unfortunately, at least in this. These are the ones that I harvested in the interim here. These are the ones that are the higher quality that I'm saving for another project. So I've only got 2, so I can only make 1 of these, unfortunately. But that's okay. Every little bit helps. There we go, and we've got a 33. So what I'm going to do is we're going to demonstrate gilding. So the gilding process is weird, and I don't entirely understand it, but I understand enough to know that if I've moused over here, you can see gilding chance 10% to 25%, and it's got the little farming symbol on it, and it says gildable. So that percentage chance applies to gilding items, like the corn braid that we have over there, that have the farming attribute. It is a better chance than ones you would get from without. And what that chance is that chance represents being able to use the gilding on the item and it still remain gildable. I think that's what that is. So this has the farming on it. You see it's got the little charisma smile and it's got the little farming icon on it. Which makes sense since it's got, I don't know why it's got the charisma thing on it, since it's perception, cooking, and farming. But apparently that's what it is. And we're going to put this on our hat, because that is a closer in quality, which means that I would lose less of it. And for this point, I shouldn't lose any of it. So, all right, I pick it up, I right-click. Match skills, 31. Skill value, 31. Chance of success, 9%. So I'm going to hit attempt. There we go. Now, as you see, it no longer has blue. It no longer says gildable. So I didn't quite get that 9% chance. It was lower than the 10% because my skill is low. My skill is lower than the quality of the item I was working with. So it took some of the chance off. And that's that. We are now at, let's see, just this hat gives me an extra 11 points of farming, 4 points of cooking, and 2 perception. Then the cape gives me an extra 5 farming, and I still have the gildable slot available. So once I have more of that finer plant fiber available for use, I can get a second one and put it on here, and still have that, probably that same, about same chance of getting that back. So that ended up taking our farming from 20 to 36, just wearing these clothes. That is a lot closer to that level 50 that I just replanted. Now, if I was really, really worried about it, I would have replanted now instead of before. But even then, it's still at a point where, since I'm not at or above 50, I still have the exact same chances of losing quality on it than I did at 20. So I knew I wasn't going to end up getting all the way to 50. There was pretty much no chance of that. But now we have our nice little hat and cape. Yay, I am still barefoot. We could probably take care of the barefoot now. Because I believe, if I were to go over here, that's hats. No, I don't want hats. I want footwear, boots and shoes. All right, so we've got a few options. There's bunny slippers, of course. which is just amusing to me. I think bunny slippers ever so slightly increase your run speed. Might want to think about that at some point, but not this exact second. Clogs are probably what we're going to end up doing because it's the cheapest. It is just 2 wood. The fur boots exist, and the leather boots exist, and they are also counted as armor, which is good and bad because it'll means I will take less damage, but it has durability, so they will eventually break. Unlike other shoes that are not armor, which won't eventually break. So let's see. Clogs, 2 logs. Can I open this up? Do I still have any in here, or I have 1 in here? And then I can chop the second block. There we go. We're working with some quality 19 wooden blocks. We are dexterity and carpentry. I think my dex is a little low, isn't it? Yeah, dex is 18, so it'll get drugged down a little bit by that. My carpentry is 20, so that's fine. Can I get a point of dex before doing this? That's a good question. That is a good question. I don't think I have a whole bunch of chicken meat around, unfortunately. I did end up bringing stuff back from the other former settlement. 42 quality sea clay. That's what all this over here is as well, is 42 quality sea clay. Way better than anything we can get. I don't want to use it yet because, honestly, my masonry is not good enough, and I don't want to waste it because I don't know where it came from. We got some of that. Yeah, I don't have chicken. I could go get chicken. You know what? The, like, half a point at most that might get pulled off of this isn't enough to worry about it. I'm gonna craft. There we go, and we have some clogs. And actually, they are still exactly quality 19, so I guess it didn't pull any off, or if it is such a small fraction, it didn't even tick it down in the tenths. So, good. Alright, so this is a carpentry gildable, which makes sense, I suppose. Question is, do we even have any gildings that could give carpentry? So let's see. Spun glue thread. It's agility. Good to know. Extra stitches as a gilding. Cooking, unarmed combat, survival. Not bad. Of course, there's our corn braid, which doesn't do that. Let's see. We got that's a sewing. Oh, that's a stealth one. Bone pins. Bark reinforcement is unarmed combat, which is probably something that would be good if I was putting on armor. Sewing and exploration. Perception and exploration. Survival. There's a carpentry one, and it does have the carpentry tag on it. Because that's what that is. Like, I could theoretically have a carpentry thing without actually having the carpentry on it. Like, this has exploration. It has exploration and perception, but if I had a perception thing, it doesn't have the perception tag. So, woodsman's token. What do you take? You take a maple leaf, a block of mirkwood, and bone glue. Well, we don't have the bone glue at the moment, but that's kind of good to keep an eye on. What else do we got? Those are just pockets. Leather patch is exploration and survival. Perception, survival, marksmanship. Okay. Well, that's all the gildings we have available to us at the moment. So we're not going to worry about that too much. All right. What else are we doing, if anything? Oh, I might want to put my shoes on. They don't provide any bonuses. It is only some clothing provide bonuses directly, but I feel like it's a good idea to walk around with shoes on. I think it might help in some instances, and in any instance, going through thatch or going through a swamp has the chance of giving you ticks or leeches, but they will only apply themselves in empty equipment slots. So the more slots you fill up, the less likely you are to actually end up with them. Now, leeches are good, but I could always take stuff off if I'm trying to get leeches. So generally speaking, you want to fill as many equipment slots as possible just to, prevent, other things from latching onto you and sucking your blood. What else do I got, if anything? I mean, I got a hat, and I got shoes, and I got a cape. Should we look at other clothing? Perhaps. What do we got in the line of other clothing? Nothing new. Nothing new. That is because we do not have fabric yet. But we do have a house now, so we could theoretically... oh, no, wait. I know what. I can't do that even though it requires sewing. There is the loom. But the loom requires more than just sewing. In point of fact, I think I have to have wheelwriting. So wheelwrite, and then is it basic mechanics? What else does basic mechanics require? Because I'm missing it. I'm going to grab beekeeping while I'm here, though, because I would like to be able to fix that beehive. Gardening, mining, metalworking, glass blowing. It might be woodmanship? 1 second, I will go and look it up. Alright, I decided to go ahead and show you guys where I'm looking this up on. It's the Ring of Brodgar. It says metalworking, rope twining, and wheelwriting are the skills required. I think I have all that, because I had to have the rope twining in order to do the... Oh, metalworking! Duh. Okay. Metalworking. That's the one I'm missing. Got stuck on the fact that rope twining was required. There we go. Now it opens up. Alright. There we go. Now I have basic mechanics, which should give me access to loom. Fortunately, I don't actually need any stuff for the, any metal for the loom. Although metalworking was going to be a thing we were going to have to get eventually anyway, especially since we just got ourselves a pile of ore to turn into lead. Which I was originally planning to do with this episode, but I think I'm focused on clothes. 20 of the string, as you see there. There are 21 of these. As we saw earlier. This is what I was saving it for. Was so that I would have enough to make a loom. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do too much more beyond that at the moment, but it is theoretically enough. I want to turn this way. Mostly because that's just the direction I want it. There we go. Alright, let's get the string in. Because this is nice high quality. I mean, it's not all the same quality, so it'll be a little difficult, but, then the rest, I'm just going to have to deal with what I've got. So, which isn't going to be great. It'll drag the quality down, but the quality of the loom will affect the quality of the fabric we make, either positively or negatively. So, it is just something we're going to have to deal with. Now, I do have this slightly better pine here. Oh, our charcoal is done too, by the by. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I don't have my saw, because I'm holding my bucket. Duh. Alright, I'm going to get the rest of the resources for this and be right back. Alright, I am back again. I had to come outside the base because, while I was able to get most of the items for the loom from around the base at higher quality, I needed these last 2 boards, which, fortunately, due to my saw, became level 17, quality 17, so it's not the worst. So there we go. We were way too close to that boar for my personal comfort, but that's okay. We made it out. Alright, everything else is in. I got as high quality as I could manage, and I can only hope that this will turn out decent. Let's check. Quality 33. Definitely not the worst it could have been. That will serve us for at least a while. Of course, I am going to have to get my sewing skill up to kind of match. So until I top 33 on sewing, I'm not going to worry too much about getting higher quality loom. But that is about all the time I actually have today. It is going to be a slightly shorter episode. I would have kept going if we had some more fibers to work with, so I could make some cloth. But I'm still working on expanding our hemp production, so that is going to be a little while. I'm going to continue to iterate on things. I will probably go and refill my study desk with some curiosities, but that is going to do it for today's episode. Well, we started making some clothes, and as they say, clothes maketh the man. So, until next time, have a good one.